Hi, this is Wishup, and I thought I would do sort of an impromptu summer solstice geomancy video. I was kind of in the mood, and maybe you'd be in the mood too. So I'm going to roll some dice, and I'm going to do a quick head, heart, belly, feet reading in geomancy, which is where we generate 4 different glyphs, sort of the different parts of the body, which also correspond to different parts of life and our motivations. Um, and because geomancy is all about the square and fours and the earth, I'm rolling dice here. Some people use shells or stones or bones. Dice are sort of an ancient form of rolling the bones, and in fact used to be made of bone, some of them. So yeah, so let's get started and see what we get. These are my little mock-up cards that have 2 glyphs on each. I am making a card set that will have a full image on each one with the glyph. I'm just drawing them in colored pencils, but I'm about 6 done out of 16, so I've got a ways to go. Anyway, let's get started and we'll get some cards out, and then I'll pull a couple tarot cards at the end for advice cards. So the way I do it is, because it's head, heart, belly, feet, I take them sort of as they fall. So this is like 3, 1, 1, 4. So if you are familiar with geomancy, and if you're not, I have a DIY geomancy playlist that you can look through, and it gives you all the different glyphs and at least the way I do it. So this would be odd, 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 even. So the glyph that corresponds to, which I'm putting in the head position, is Cauda Draconis, the tail of the dragon, so to speak. It's things moving out, things on their way out. If you're familiar with the moon's nodes or Vedic astrology, this is Ketu. So this is in the head position, which is an interesting thing. So let's get our heart position. Okay, odd, even, odd, even. So this is interesting. Okay, this is Venus in Earth, which is amisio or loss. And this is a card of Taurus. So I would say at the summer solstice, just as the very beginning goes, there is a thought about something that is ending or something that you're putting aside. And there's a feeling in the heart about what you're losing, about what this may mean to you materially. And it could be also, when we deal with things like amisio, it can be a loss of status. So there's definitely a feeling of motion. This is a transient sign or a transient glyph. Amisio is also transient, so these are what are called mobile. They're moving feelings. So yeah, your head and your heart are in motion. There's turmoil here, and it has to do with something that you're leaving behind or grieving that feels like a tangible loss. So it could be that there's an emotional loss, but it's also tied to something real, like the sense of property or a possession or something that has to do with your day-to-day life is feeling like a loss going on with this emotional stuff. I'm laughing, Kim, because I see your comment. You know what? This is the process that you're working through. The good thing is the summer solstice, where the sun stands still, it can feel a little harsh because there's an unrelenting sense of spotlight on things. Like you can't escape the harsh glare of the sun. And this is a little bit like that, like things going out in heat. Let's get the belly and the feet. Okay, so this is all odd. And it's kind of interesting because we have three threes, which makes it feel very important. And look at this. We have via. This is another card of motion. In fact, this is the most mobile card in, or the most mobile glyph in geomancy. It is the card, you can see it as sort of this silver lightning, the moon in water. You can think of it as a little darting water snake. It's via, it's the way, it's the path. And because this is in the area of the belly, which is where water is, there's a sense, again, of this tremendous motion. And it's like your guts know where they're going, but your heart's not sure it wants to follow. And maybe your head is concerned about the implications of, is this going to be messy? Is this going to be difficult? Am I going to end up in fights with people over this? But your guts, so to speak, are already on the move. Your instincts have already taken motion. And you can see the moon here quite strongly because we've got the moon in two of the glyphs, which means that where we look at the Gemini new moon and this idea of making these evaluations and assessments close to home, especially about close partnerships, that's definitely, it looks like what's indicated. So let's get the last glyph here. Okay. All right, so we've got odd, odd, even, even. Interesting. I have a friend who hates it when I say interesting all the time, but I can never stop because it's so interesting. Okay, so in the foot position, in the bottom, and you can see actually on the backs of these cards, I've got the bicycle riding twin cherubs, which are very suitable for Gemini, for this Gemini new moon, and this sort of balancing act. Your feet. Here's the sun in air. This is a stroke of luck. And this is a stroke of luck that comes to you from somewhere else. It's like a divine bit of luck. This is not the huge thing that you've worked for. This is the divine stroke of luck. And what I think is happening, your head is worried, has fears about whatever change you're making. Your heart is a little hung up on the grieving process. Your guts already know where they want to go. And your feet, your actions, your movement are going to be drawn in the direction of something shiny. It's like the universe is going to put a carrot in front of you to get you to move, because your ability to move is strongest in the parts of you that aren't thinking too hard. The parts of you that are thinking very hard are caught up, are confused, are bound up. And that ties in with the previous reading where we have these anxieties and they're in conflict with our desire to move. We want to move, but we don't know where, we don't know how, we feel torn. But the stroke of luck is this dynamic, like, and I will say all of this is transient energy. There's not a single, if these were steady forces, stable forces, you'd see I would have underlined the word. So these are all forces in motion. And in fact, you have the one that's in the most motion in one of the sort of central positions here. So what's happening is everything's in motion. So if you don't like where it is now, don't worry, it's changing. It's not going to change because probably you change your mind or you get everything solved with your heart. That doesn't seem like the way it's going to change. It's going to change because where, if you remember that old song, like feet don't fail me now, or that old saying, feet don't fail me now, like get me out of this, take me where I need to go. That is what's happening. Your feet are taking you where you need to go, and you may not have any idea where that direction is. It may be leading you in the direction of just a shiny object, just the next good thing, the next possible thing, and your feet know the way, and your head is going to follow them. Because right now, your head and your heart seem kind of unable to resolve the difficulties. And really, resolution isn't where you're at right now anyway, because everything's moving. And we're going to get to the summer solstice, where we think of the sun standing still. And at that moment of the sun standing still, you're going to see these things clearly. And that might even be a little painful. There might be a harsh light on things. And you think, oh no, now I see. But you're moving. You're really moving. And the sun too will be moving, because as of the summer solstice, it's going to move from, wait a minute, all of a sudden I'm getting confused, from Cancer into Leo, right? No. Right? Now my brain has just suddenly blanked out. It does happen. But the sun is going to be moving signs too with the summer solstice. And the other thing I want to say is, during this time of the summer solstice, the place where the moon is going to be is through Libra and Virgo and heading into Scorpio. So these are productive working areas. The moon, which is now waxing and growing in strength, is actually doing a lot of work in these good areas of productive healing and work and service, and also in areas of partnership. So some of these issues that are not obvious now, all that's obvious is the mess. All that's obvious is the loss. You just got to let your feet take you somewhere else. You got to maybe even close your eyes. Go, okay, feet, where are we going? So let's see what the tarot cards have to say about this particular geomancy reading. I am using the Ellis deck, which is by Taylor Ellis. It's kind of a collage, or like a computer collage deck, so I thought it would be nice to use. I'll show you the card backs because they're awesome. Here we go. There we go. All right. So, Three of Cups. I love it. Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. This is interesting because the Three of Cups, I think so too. I think it's interesting. The Three of Cups is in an interesting place because it's sort of, this is the advice section, the future section. This is happiness, sociability, expansion of an agreeable situation. And the Page of Cups, which is, quite positive, but it's a very youthful card, and it's a creative and artistic card. It's in reverse. And I think what this is saying is that you want to join this Three of Cups as an equal partner. Even though you don't know where you're going yet, when you look and you find your way through this stroke of luck, which I associate, this is kind of my fairy godmother card. So actually going towards these Three of Cups, which I associate with the fates in a way, this is leading towards a really good direction where you're not going to have to feel so confused and immature and unsure. The Page of Cups is the consummate beginner, doesn't know exactly what they're doing, is open-hearted and amused and having a good time, but quite naive. This is not moving you toward a place of naivete. So just because you don't know where you're going doesn't mean that you won't know when you arrive. And it doesn't mean that you won't be able to take your place in a way that feels respectful of what you've been through. You are moving sort of with the fates. You're taking your experience with you. And so just because you're following this stroke of luck does not make you naive. It means your head can't see the way yet because your head is a little bit stuck in the past. Cauda draconis obviously is the stuff going out. Amicio is the loss that's already happened. If your head and your heart are stuck in the past and can't quite see the way to the future, even though you know you want a future and you know it's important for you to get to that future, but you're a little bit torn, you're just not, you don't know the way. You don't know the way. And all you can think about is the failures of the past or the losses of the past. And it's paralyzing you in being able to take that step forward. You kind of have to give it over to the fates, and you've got to let your feet move you in the direction that you need to go, and realize that when you get there, you're not going to feel like such a newbie. It's leading you to a place that you already have some understanding of. It's leading you to a place that you know. Yeah, it's leading you. Oh, hi, Jackie. It's leading you toward your it's leading you toward your future. It really is. And when you get to your future, you're not going to feel so confused, so lost, so immature. But right now, this is a bit of a birth process. I think, I mean, a lot of us are experiencing this push and pull between our heart's desires and the past and where we're trying to go. And I just think it's too hard to consciously put all this stuff together. But it doesn't mean that the divine doesn't have your back, because it sure looks like they do. And these ladies, they organize the fate of the universe. They organize the fates of all. And so if they're having a party, you can be sure it's a party that you want to go to. And if you have in the feet position the godmother's wand, you can also be sure that's where you want to go. So to the extent that you can, I would say try to shut off the messy thoughts. Try to not worry so much about the losses of your heart. But what this would say with the Misu and the heart position is you do want to keep close to your heart your desires, the things that really matter to you as you've gone through these processes of evaluating what you care about and what you don't care about. The things you want to hold tightly to are not the things that you've lost or that have failed, but the things that are still your heart's desire, still your passion. And then let your instincts and the heavens carry you that direction, because you can't figure it out. And I can't figure it out either. We are moonstruck with confusion, which sometimes is a good thing, because usually the heavens have a better idea than we do about amazing, innovative, cool solutions. And so by getting out of our own heads or letting our feet sort of guide us, we end up in a better place than we would have been otherwise, because we just can't imagine all the amazing possibilities there are. So you just have to be ready to move, and I think you probably already are ready to move. And then when you see that stroke of luck, let your feet carry you towards it. In some ways, you will be going home. You know, in some ways, you'll be going to a spiritual home and to a heartfelt home. You just didn't know it was your home till you got there and went, hey, I know this place. This is where I intended to be and wanted to be. So I think that is the reading as far as this goes. Do any of you have a specific question? It could be really general, you know, or if you have just a general intention, you could keep it, you know, in your own mind, and I could flip a card for it if you'd like that. So if you have something specific on your mind, just sort of keep that one intention. Okay, that's good. So let's see. Jackie, do you want a freebie card? Just for anything that's on your mind, any wish, any thought that you have? You got the intention. Okay, so you got the intention. We're going to flip this card and we're going to see what it's about. Okay, the Emperor in reverse. All right, so the Emperor can be a boss figure. Sometimes I take it to mean that we're the boss, like we're the boss. So part of it, if I tie it into the previous reading, it's don't try to be the boss, don't try to run this because you're not necessarily in control of it. But also, where we have the Emperor in reverse and it's related to something in your life, it could be that you shouldn't let these things dominate you because they seem loud, because they seem fiery, because they seem bold. This is typically a card for Aries, Mars and Aries, so it's fiery. And you can feel dominated by this fiery energy or by someone else's fiery energy. But right now, your strength is in water. That's what's taking you where you want to go. So maybe remove yourself from really combative, fiery energy, whether it's your own or someone else's. You know, take a cool bath, have a cool drink, something to just try to stay chilled, if you know what I mean. And if someone is acting like the boss of you, they're not. Oh, okay. Oh, Cancer double Sag. Okay, so you got your fire and water competing all the time. So right now, this is saying bank your fires a little bit. You want to play to the Cancerian part of you. This is definitely tied to that Cancer energy. So you want to play to that part of yourself that is emotional but able to flow. Because this is a time where if you try to dictate things or dictate the future, which the Emperor often likes to do, the Emperor is a planner, an organizer dictating the future. But as we saw earlier, the future, our current conceptions of the future are so tied to the past that they are not reliable. They're just not reliably taking us in the direction we want to go this way, and they're taking us backwards. So don't try to let everything you've learned to become this emperor take you backwards when you want to be heading frontwards. So now is the time to say, I'm not going to try to be the emperor dictating things. I'm going to try to follow the fates. I'm going to try to see where those little nymphs are going and just follow along with them and see where it takes me, and know that that does not make you naive. And like I said, if this emperor is not you, if this is someone in your life, try to remove yourself from the fiery energy. Yes, one foot in front of the other. Exactly. As I was saying earlier, I think maybe before you hopped in, feet don't fail me now is the idea. And let your feet take you out. Your head can't see where you're going, but your feet know the way. Yeah. So that is what's going on at the moment. Yeah, I might do a couple more different kinds of readings. Oh, great. Great. That's good. A couple more different kinds of readings for the summer solstice. This seems like a pretty interesting time. Yes, absolutely. Good luck. Good luck to everybody. I mean, part of the reasons I do the readings is because I'm hanging on too. I'm going, what the heck am I doing here? And I'm feeling the same things that everybody else is feeling. So as I'm reading these things, it helps me clarify my own thoughts. So anyway, I'm going to load this up, and I want to say, hey, thanks for hopping on. That was totally cool. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll get this loaded up, and then, I might do more with a couple different kinds of reading styles. But until then, I hope you guys are having a great day, and please rock on with your bad selves.